All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Rita, and I am the Program and Technology Specialist for the Wood County Committee on Aging. And the presentation today that we're going to be focusing on is about Netflix. This is a very trending topic, especially during the pandemic, but Netflix has been around for a really long time, and I'm excited to share with you the ins and outs of this streaming platform. So I'm going to share my screen at this time. And you should be able to see my PowerPoint here. So here are some things that you can expect to learn throughout this presentation. I'm going to give you general info about this TV service, a little bit of history and some statistics behind Netflix, the cost, what types of movies and TV shows that are available, how to search, and what kind of genres you can look at, and some of my personal favorites and recommendations that I like to watch on Netflix. And finally, towards the end, we're going to talk about devices that you can use to watch Netflix, and we're going to get a tour of the website. Thanks to Zoom, it allows us to use our computers in a unique way to show you that. So let's start. What even is Netflix? I'm sure by now you've at least heard of the term, but this is a streaming service, and it offers TV shows, movies, documentaries. What's something unique about it versus, let's say, cable, is that there is a kid-friendly selection that you can choose from if you have kids around the house, knowing that they are going to tend to be more kid-friendly and safe. You can search all kinds of genres that are easily browsable, and there are literally thousands of options for things that you can watch, which is pretty exciting. Virtually, you could maybe never run out of things to watch. And on top of it, you could watch virtually anywhere. It was funny because when I was traveling, let's say I'm going down to Florida or before pandemic times, I could take my phone, take my tablet, and watch Netflix wherever I'm at, as long as I have internet access. But we'll talk more about that. If you have a smart TV, a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer, all of these devices allow you to watch Netflix. A little bit of history about Netflix. It was founded in 1997, although it did not start as a streaming service. Some of you may have taken advantage of their DVD rent by mail service. So this is actually how they began. And you could browse through the DVDs on their website, or sometimes they would actually give you a pamphlet to choose from. But every month you would get mailed DVDs right to your home, which was huge because Blockbuster and Family Video and all those companies were already competing for that. And this was, a different type of service. Then after 20 years or 10 years, Netflix became the streaming service that we pretty much know it as today. And it is probably, well, it is technically the largest streaming service in the world, with major competitors like Hulu and Amazon Prime and many more. Now, this statistic may surprise you, but as of this year, 2020, it was reported that Netflix has nearly 182.8 million subscribers in the world. And because of the pandemic, we saw a huge rise in those subscriptions. So let's talk about cost. There are 3 packages with Netflix. And you'll notice in the graph that I have here, you can see that it's separated by basic, standard, and premium. On the side, it tells you exactly what you would be getting for each of those packages. So let's start with the basic. You can stream one device at a time. You can actually download different movies or TV shows so that if maybe you're on an airplane where you don't have internet, you can still watch TV. You have unlimited access to everything they have in their library, and you can watch it on anything. Now, the major difference that you will notice in these packages, this is probably most important for families that have a lot of people who would like to watch Netflix. For example, I am one of 4 kids plus my parents, and we pay for this premium package, the $16 a month. And basically, all at one time, 4 of us can be watching Netflix on the same account. Wow, we can actually have 10 people on the account maybe, but only 4 can watch it at one time. And that's pretty much what you're paying for in the bigger packages. But you'll also notice there's some HD and Ultra HD available in the larger packages. All this means really is the high definition productions. It'll look a little bit better or maybe even a lot better if you have the premium or standard. But it's you that's interested in Netflix and you don't imagine anybody else sharing that account with you, that basic package is extremely affordable and very reasonable for one person to use. Now, here's some important things to know. You can try Netflix for 30 whole days before you even choose a plan. There are no contracts. It is a month-to-month commitment. And if you decide you don't want Netflix anymore, there's no cancellation fee. They are very open, and the access on their website to cancel whenever is actually very user-friendly. You can change your plan at any time. So maybe you started out at basic, you decided you're going to share with your daughter or one of your siblings, and you want to split the standard package with them. It is very easy to do and accessible on their website. The thing about Netflix is that you can watch as much as you want at any time, as many times as you want. So a lot of times we might think about cable and we might say, okay, what's on at 8 o'clock or what's on at 9 o'clock? Netflix is different. Every single thing in their library of movies and TV shows is available all of the time, which is, some people may say it's a good thing. Some people may say it's a bad thing. You would hear people binge watching shows or movies, and that means they're watching back-to-back episodes, and it's very easy to get caught up in it. And I think one of their biggest, I guess, bonuses and positives about Netflix is that there are 0 commercials, none. If anything, the only advertisements you'll see when you first open up Netflix is they're trying to feature one of their own TV shows or movies. But it's not like the commercial you and I are used to. We're not being interrupted every 10 minutes with an ad. So now let's talk about what is available. Like I said before, there are thousands of options to choose from. But some have asked me before when I've talked about this, why isn't everything available? Why can't I get any movie I want to watch or any TV show that I want to watch? Well, just like cable companies or any other company for that matter, there are licenses that we have for TV shows and movies all across the world. Both new, so like newer movies or newer TV shows are added. Old titles, old movies that you've really enjoyed, those are changed out every month. Now, sometimes you'll think that a lot of new things came on Netflix or a lot has been removed, but it pretty much stays the same for about a year, and you see some changes in between. Whenever there is an expiration of one of those licenses, There are some things that Netflix considers, and really any streaming service. Are the rights still available? So think about the competitors. The first thing that comes to mind for me is the show Friends. Friends was on Netflix for many, many years. And last year in 2019, Netflix paid $100 million to keep it on for the year of 2019. I don't know if you heard me right, but I said $100 million for 1 year. And now that contract went up in 2020. Now the streaming service HBO Max has Friends, all 10 seasons. So there are competitors with maybe more money or maybe better negotiations at the time for why something might be removed off of Netflix or any streaming service. So like I said, watch out for those competitors because your favorite show might be removed. They also take a look at how popular it is, how much it costs. I mean, that $100 million bill was probably not the easiest thing to approve, but that is a big factor if a lot of their watchers love it. And then seasonal and regional factors. Well, what do we have coming up? Our Halloween movies, even after that, maybe your Christmas movies or any other holidays. So you'll be seeing themes based on the season and the holidays. My mother-in-law very specifically likes to wait for those Hallmarky movies coming out. And just to give you a little glimpse of how much money they spend, in 2019, they had spent nearly $15 billion on licensing. And then it was projected for 2020 that they would be spending $17 billion. It's a lot of money to have TV and movies, but all those millions of subscribers to make that happen. So, genres. You might have very different tastes in what you're interested for TV and movies. Pretty much any genre you could think of that you could want is available on Netflix. Right here, you'll see I posted the list of different genres with the number beside it. That's an average of how many titles that you could find under those genres. So it's pretty exciting. Like I said, you could probably never run out of things to watch. And let's say you're going in with an idea of a movie that you would like to watch. You can search for a specific title of a movie or TV show, and it will let you know if it's on Netflix. If you start watching different things, different TV shows and movies, you will actually get a personal algorithm developed, meaning it takes into account what you're interested in watching, and it will suggest movies and TV shows that fit what you watch. So it kind of keeps track of that so that you can find things much easier. One other thing that I want to point out, and we will, when I do a tour of Netflix, I will show you this feature. But if I really love a specific actor or a specific actress, I can type in their name and it will come up with all of the movies that they are featured in. So for example, I typed in Reese Witherspoon because I love Reese Witherspoon, and I was able to find the things that Netflix had with her in it. And you could do that with any actor that you enjoy. Here are some of my favorites and some of my office mates' personal favorites. If you're an NCIS fan, and you know that there are lots of seasons of that show, you couldn't run out of it. The entire series, except for the newest season, is on Netflix. I also really enjoy baking shows. So the Great British Baking Show is an awesome competition one that I recommend. Grace and Frankie is a very funny show that I enjoy. If you've ever seen The Office or have even heard of Sherlock, which is a modern take on Sherlock Holmes, those are awesome favorites of mine. And then there's some other ones, a documentary called Our Planet. As you'll notice on the left-hand side, this is called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. And it's basically like a reality show of her going in and helping people organize their home, her methods there. And I want to note that Netflix has put a lot of money into their original productions, meaning they produce TV shows and movies that they only have the rights to show, meaning it skipped theaters. It's probably not ever going to be on your cable TV. It's definitely not going to be on other streaming services like Hulu or HBO, but it is available only on Netflix. You might have heard of The Crown, which is a very popular show about the Queen of England, and that is another Netflix original, very highly rated. So this is just a brief list, and I would love for anyone to share some of their favorites with us at the WCCOA. So how does it even work? Actually, I want to add one more thing before we move on. The one downfall of Netflix is that new episodes from cable TV are not on Netflix. It is not an immediate updated service like cable would be. So if I were awaiting the new NCIS episode every Tuesday night, I would not be able to get that on Netflix. Usually Netflix will get seasons after they're finalized and done. So if you're one of those folks that really enjoys new TV and new cable, Netflix may not be the best option for you. Some of the competitors offer a difference in the way that they update their library. All right, so let's see how it works. You have lots of options. Like I said, you could potentially watch Netflix from anywhere in the world. But what does that even look like? So since I'm on a computer right now, I'm not going to be able to show you all of these options, but I do want to share with you a couple of things. If you have a smart TV, which whenever you bought it, you would probably have noticed that whenever you turned it on, it looked different. And if you are very aware that it's a smart TV, I imagine you probably have Netflix already on there. Doesn't mean that you can watch it without a login, but it is already on there for you to put in your information to make an account. If you have a flat screen TV, but it's not smart, and like I said, if you don't know if your TV is smart or not, I encourage you to call me and I can help you figure that out. But there are ways you can make a TV smart. Now let me back up. I want to explain that word smart. I think there's a lot of jokes around it that it's smarter than us. Basically, when you think of a smart device, it means that it can connect to the internet. So a smartphone versus a flip phone, a smartphone can connect to the internet, can connect like a computer. But your smart TV or your TV, for example, may not have that access. Something like this. This is an Amazon Fire Stick. It plugs into a port called the HDMI port in your TV, and basically your screen will look like your TV is smart. So, this I would guess, based on my experiences, is a very user-friendly, affordable option using an Amazon Fire Stick to do that. But as you'll see listed, there are several competitors that do the exact same thing. So there's an Apple TV, which is very similar to this. Don't be fooled by that TV. A Roku, a Google Chromecast. But once you buy this from the store, it comes with a remote that is very simple. You might even notice that there's probably like 10 buttons on there total. This circle here is a button. but it's a really simple remote. And I like that. I think that when you go from a cable remote to this, it's very user-friendly. And I've helped several people here at the Senior Center set one of these up. So, you know, please contact me if this is something you're interested in. Also, if you have a smartphone or a tablet, which I think a few of you are using right now, you can download the Netflix app from your app store. And it's a free app to get, but the service, like we talked about before, is where the monthly cost comes in. So right now I'm going to show you what that looks like on a phone. Obviously, this is not my first preference when I'm watching TV. I would prefer not to watch TV on my cell phone, but it may be the only option for some folks. And especially if you're traveling and you really want to watch your favorite TV show to get to bed or whatever, you can access Netflix right on your phone. And same with your tablet for some folks that do not have internet. Okay, I'm back now. Can you hear? Oh, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm sorry about that. Let me get back to my PowerPoint here. So I ended with you need internet access in your home to be able to watch Netflix. So how about I share my screen? All right. So hopefully you're all able to see my screen. This is the front page of Netflix. As soon as I open on my computer, I'm already getting an advertisement for one of their shows they would like me to watch. And it's called Get Organized with the Home Edit. My algorithm, like I talked about earlier, must know that I really enjoy shows like this. I told you about the organizing show that I've watched. As I scroll down, I have an opportunity to pick a show that I had already been watching before. I can keep scrolling down and look at things that I have watched already, and it gives me an opportunity to click on it to watch again. What I want to do now, so let's say, all right, so I'm here. I can pick anything that I want. Let's say I want to watch this Get Organized show. It already drew my attention because it has someone famous in it that I really like, which is Reese Witherspoon. And I get a little bit of background just by clicking on the TV show. There's already, you know, it looks like it's a new show. It's rated PG. It already has one season on there. And then below, I get to read a little bit about what it is. And even as I scroll down further, I can take a look at each individual episode. So maybe I'm not really interested in Reese Witherspoon, but I'm interested in watching Khloe Kardashian or Eva Longoria, and I can watch this immediately. So let's click on play here. As soon as it loads, we'll be able to look at some controls that we have.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Okay.
So you'll notice on the bottom, I have an actual pause. I can rewind, fast forward 10 seconds. So maybe I missed something, like I couldn't understand what they had said. I also have control over which episode I want to watch. Maybe I'm not interested in the first half, I only want to watch the second half. You have control over which parts you want to watch. I get back here. I'm done looking at this TV show, and now I want something new. Like I said before, Netflix really divides up by genre. I can look at TV shows that are quickly acclaimed, want them to come on Netflix. And that might mean for a TV show that the most recent season was added. So that's why Grey's Anatomy is on there. They must have added last year's season. If I want something really light and fluffy, something casual, as they say, they give me an entire list that I can go through and I can pick something that I want. Here is my guilty pleasure. Some of you may remember this when it was airing. I did not, but it's called Supermarket Sweep. And from 1993, I watched this entire season. I think there were 10 episodes in just a couple of weeks because I thought it was so cute. But they seem to add older TV shows here and there that kind of hit that nostalgia that we all enjoy. One thing I have to say Netflix is known for is their plethora of documentaries. So if you really enjoy documentaries, they have lots on here that you would like. I can search specific TV shows. I can search by comedy. If I love reality TV, I have my pick from those. As you can see, it's never ending. And really, you could keep going and try and find something that you like. I talked earlier, and this might be important for those that have some grandkids that they like to have around. But I mentioned that there were some kid-friendly options. And specifically, there's a profile exactly for kids. It is filtered by Netflix that is PG or less. And I can have a ton of options for my kids or grandkids if I'm watching something at my house, which I think is a really nice feature. Now, while we're on this page, I want to make a note. I told you before that I share this account with several of my family members, and you'll notice that we each have a profile that we use. The reason why that's important is because then what my sister Monica may be watching is not what I'm watching, and it separates all of that information, which is good. I have to say it's really more important for my dad. If we went on his, we would see everything Star Trek related. He loves Star Trek, and there are a lot of seasons of that show on Netflix. And, you can watch this at any time, like I said, with no commercials. So I encourage you, if you have not taken advantage of their 30-day free trial, it is well worth it. And then you could cancel your subscription with them altogether. So now I'm going to open up the floor. It's a lot of information to take in, but if anybody has some questions that they think would be good for the group, or just some follow-up information that you might need to understand it more, I am happy to answer what I can. So how about now, I will ask everyone to unmute, and you're more than welcome to join our conversation. Does anybody have any questions? Are you going to try it out, Betty and Lynn? No?
Probably not. We've got
No?
we've got Spectrum, and I'm the TV watcher. He's not so much. And we've got on demand with that. We've got, DVR, and I don't know. It's almost too much to pick from.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's yeah. I mean, it would be okay, I guess. I know our daughter and her wife have it, and they love it. They watch that. What was it?
Grace and
Frankie.
Yes.
They love.
It's a very cute TV show. Yeah.
Yeah. They keep telling us we'd love it, but I don't know. I watch the same stuff. I just watch mindless TV in the evening, for a couple of hours, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I agree. It's a lot to choose from, and it can be a little overwhelming having all those options in front of you like that.
Right. Yeah. Since I'm really the TV watcher, and it sounds cool, but I know I wouldn't get.
We weren't sure what this was. I was thinking, like you mentioned earlier, that Netflix was like, you bought the movie somewhere, like out of a box someplace. And
like it used to
so
be.
That's what it was, I guess.
Right.
I thought it was kind of the same thing. Well, it is, but more live stream.
Yeah.
So
I like to think about it as like a library I can access anytime of stuff.
Right.
It's really a big library, and I think we're leaning more and more towards digital copies of things versus actual copies of a DVD. This is like the new. I imagine in a decade we probably won't be printing DVDs as much anymore.
Right.
For sure.
Well, and music is doing that. I mean, like even now, I've bought 2 or 3 CDs from Amazon, and you get the digital version of it along with the hard copy. So
they're trying to phase you.
Right. and it's okay. Yeah. I mean, like our new car doesn't have a CD player, so it plays my phone plays music for me through the car. And that wasn't real hard for us to transition to, but I don't know. Yeah. But I don't think I'll try Netflix. We've got enough stuff to watch.
One day maybe you'll just be so curious and you'll go.
Yeah. Well, like our daughter they don't have cable. They have Hulu. I think Hulu or something with it.
I think
Hulu Live, maybe?
What?
Hulu Live. Hulu Live is like a cable version that Hulu offers.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's Hulu, but anyway, but their neighbor that they're real good friends with has Netflix, and she lets them use her subscription. Yes. So anyway.
It's not uncommon to share.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's great. That's good. Yeah. Annette, how about you? How are you feeling about all this?
Well, I have a few questions, actually.
I'm open to them.
So once it's on one device, if you purchase the basic, then it stays on there. Like if it's on the tablet, it has to stay on the tablet. Or can you switch it to your phone or your tablet or to your TV at different times?
Yes, you can. So it's basically the restriction is that you can only watch on one at a time. You can have it logged in on your TV, on your tablet, on your phone, all at the same time. You just can't watch on all 3 at the same time. That's the restriction. But it's really not a bad one because like you're saying, if I'm out and about, I want it on my phone. But if I'm at home, I would prefer it on my TV. And beauty is once you're logged in, it stays logged in. So a lot of times you won't have to re-put in your password or anything like that. It saves it. So it's really very seamless.
Okay. And so you buy it through like Buckeye or Amazon. How do you buy it? Or you download it?
Great question. Yeah. You go to, yes. Yep. So you actually get the subscription through Netflix.com. And once you go on Netflix, it's a very basic front screen. Actually, let me see if I can show you quickly, and then I will talk about the app actually on your device, because I think that was your next question too.
You don't actually.
My internet's a little slow here. Forgive me.
Like she sounded like she thinks it's like downloads.
Oh, yeah.
That's not
Well, you get the app.
Well, at this time, my website's not coming up, but once you do go to Netflix.com, and you can use that using your cell phone or your computer, it will say try for 30 days free. And that's exactly where you start. And then you will be using an email address and a password as your login. As far as the app is concerned, which is just how to even log in, getting that app on your device that you want to watch it on. Your smart TV may already have Netflix on it. If it doesn't, your smart TV does App Store, and you can get Netflix there that way. I'm always open to helping people over the phone during this pandemic to guide you through getting that on your TV or your smart device. If you have an iPhone, so that's an Apple device, an iPad or iPhone, you will be going to your App Store and downloading it. If you have an Android, it's called the Play Store. So that's pretty much anything besides a Kindle or an Apple product. That's called the Play Store. And once you search Netflix, you'll be able to download the app, and it will be on your device until you say different. Like I said, I'm happy to help out if somebody needs some guidance.
Thank you.
Did that help in that?
Yes, a lot.
Good. Any other questions?
But you don't actually, like if you decide to watch a show, you're not downloading that show. You're just using Netflix as like the doorway to watch it, sort of. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't, right, you don't like, you actually
it's not
don't.
really taking up space.
No, right. You don't download, the only thing you have on your phone or your
You do
device
not
is
own it.
you just have the app. You don't have, and that's just sort of the portal to all this stuff you can watch.
Right.
So you don't download anything. Like if you want to watch,
correct.
if you want to watch a show, you're not like buying that show and downloading it on your device. It's just in the cloud somewhere, and you're watching it through this app. Right?
Yes.
Basically.
I hate to complicate it further.
Right.
Yes, yes. That's a wonderful way of explaining it, is that it's a portal to watch it. And
Right.
it's not as if you have permanent, like if you get rid of Netflix, you say goodbye to that library.
Right.
You don't pay for individual ones.
Right.
But I will say, and this is like a bonus to Netflix, is that they do have an option to download episodes or movies right on your device. Now, does anybody know why that would be of interest for somebody? Why would somebody want to do that? It's for traveling, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're on a plane, or maybe you have a tablet and you've got your kid and you choose to take the tablet with you out to dinner. And you want your kid to be able to watch a TV show, and you don't know if you're going to have internet at the restaurant. You can download a very limited number of episodes and movies to do that. But Betty, majority of what you're saying, yes, that is
right.
True. I really don't download much at all, and it still doesn't mean you own it. It just means you don't need internet when you watch it.
To watch it, right.
I think at one point Buckeye Cable asked me if I would like Netflix. I said no, but so how would that work then?
Good question. They might have a way that you can bill it through your cable, and you're still accessing Netflix. They're just a third party. But I recommend going to Netflix.com and just making your own account, so that if you ever decide to leave Buckeye for whatever reason, then there's no third party involved.
And then what's the difference between like what's Hulu and what's HBO? I never knew what those were.
It's very similar. That very, very similar. What is the major difference is their library of movies and TV shows. A lot of times you won't see duplicates of shows. So for example, I gave that example earlier of the show Friends. Only one streaming service has the rights to that show at a time. So it went from Netflix to HBO Max. Each of them have their own original productions, and each of them have their own library that they've accumulated. There are some differences in the way their library looks. Hulu tends to have very new TV shows, very new episodes of different things. If you've ever watched HBO, they've got their own flavor and taste of TV shows. It tends to be on a different scale. I think you may have known HBO as maybe like the no rating network. So it just depends on what you like. And for me personally, I don't have cable, but I have a lot of the streaming services. So it's, you know, you can have 1, 2, 4 of them. Disney Plus is another big one that came out late last year in 2019. And that has like nearly everything Disney has produced, which means other streaming services are not really having as much Disney on there. So unfortunately, if you really like something on a streaming service, that may be persuading you to buy their service. Or you just sacrifice and you say, well, whatever is on Netflix is good enough for me. But it can be a lot like cable now, in that your choices seem to be growing and growing.
So with the pandemic, I joined Amazon Prime just to have things delivered, you know, rather than going out. And so you mentioned something about Amazon Prime, and I did watch 1 or 2 movies from there. I haven't learned that much about it yet, but that's kind of the same thing, right?
Yes, yes. Amazon they have their own flair in that you can rent movies through Amazon Prime, but you also get a chance to watch movies that they have included in their membership. So you pay for Amazon Prime, which is that yearly or even maybe monthly fee, and you have access to what they consider Amazon Prime videos. So it's movies or TV shows that are included in that package. But for example, I wanted to watch, it was that Jackie Robinson movie, 42. I think that was what the movie was called. And it wasn't on Hulu, it wasn't on Netflix. I thought, well, by goodness, I'm gonna go on Amazon and look. And I was able to rent it for $4 or $3. So Amazon has a different feature like that you can rent, but also watch other stuff for free. So I find that Amazon has the smallest library.
So I can watch Amazon movies on my phone or tablet, but I don't know how to get it onto my TV. Is there a way
Your TV, and you did get a smart TV, right, Annette? I think you and I talked about that. Yeah. Oh, you can probably get it on there. That's okay. You can probably get it on that TV. It's just an app that I can help guide you, and we can get that.
Oh, neat. That's really neat.
It is. It seems endless, all the opportunities.
I just have the basic TV, so I just mostly just get news, you know, a few shows, but
yeah.
on my
And I
TV.
have to say, a lot of the streaming services don't have that feature of watching up-to-date news and weather. So at least you're using cable for that reason. Anything else from anybody? Julie, do you have any questions?
She's muted.
Nope, I don't think so.
Oh,
Well-
she's muted. She's muted.
You did.
Yeah, I asked her to unmute, so we'll see if she comes on real quick. But otherwise, I'm really happy that y'all joined me today. I hope you learned something new. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I will do my best to guide you over the phone. Hopefully one of these days we can get back in person and I can help you in person.
Sounds good.
Good.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Enjoy.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.